Hello and welcome to Two Chicks, One Show, where we watch, recap, and review one currently airing show, an episode a week as it airs. My name is Tricia Ennis. She is Kate Calabro. We are the Two Chicks. This week's One Show is once again Marvel's Agent Carter, but it is the last episode of Season 2, the big finale of Marvel's Agent Carter. It was a couple weeks ago. I was out of the country, so we're reviewing it now, and this is our 50th episode of Two Chicks, One Show, so it's all very special.
It's a big day. It's a big night.
It's a real big night for us.
50th episode. This could be the final Agent Carter we ever talk about. Maybe, hopefully not, but possibly. So, yeah.
Yeah, it remains to be seen. I don't know about you. I'm hoping they renew it for one more season. I only need one more season for Marvel's Agent Carter. I don't need forever. One more season would be good. I just want to see her start S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's like, I only want a third season if it's going to be a season where we see S.H.I.E.L.D. If it's not, then I don't care. At this point, I don't want to see, spoiler, her like getting married to fucking Daniel. I don't care. I want to see her starting S.H.I.E.L.D. with Howard, and then we get to learn more about that.
I would be fine with the end of season 3 being, we're going to call it S.H.I.E.L.D., and then it's over.
I guess. I mean,
I'm cool with that. I don't think the start of season 3 should be.
Well, no, because I mean, there has to be some kind of build up because we got like no fucking S.H.I.E.L.D. whatsoever in this season.
Right. I just want we need the collapse of the SSR, and then we need the start of S.H.I.E.L.D. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We need to go back to the beginning of this episode. So, Kate, why don't you let us know?
So, yeah, this is like the grand finale. Finally, all our major players so far from the season 2 kind of rallied together to take down Whitney Frost, who has now absorbed all of the black matter. So through several different obstacles, and they travel to Stark, was it the Stark Studios? I don't know what the hell he called it.
Yeah, it's Stark Studios, I think is what it was called, yeah.
And they rebuild Stark's gamma cannon, and they lure Whitney Frost out. And she comes, and it's kind of like, it's such a shame because it was kind of like assembling what the S.H.I.E.L.D. dream team. So I really thought something was going to happen, and then nothing. And they, get her to come to the studio. The gamma rays on black matter is going. There's some issues with Daniel, who has to like compensate for being a cripple. He has to be the hero, like always. Such a putz. And even though he should have died, Daniel survives, and Whitney Frost gets all of the black matter drained from her, and she just becomes like a crazy person.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. The end.
I think both of us were extremely surprised that Daniel didn't die. I wasn't necessarily rooting for him to die because I'm still sort of rooting for him to be Hydra, but like they foreshadow it at least 2 or 3 times in the beginning of the episode, and then they get to this point where they shoot off the cannon, and they're like, when it happens, everything is going to be sucked up, so you have to be beyond this line in the sand that they draw. Yeah. And then the thing happens where they have to like turn it off manually, and they're all arguing about who's going to be the valiant one, and Daniel just goes and does it, which was a nice joke. And he like ties himself to the thing, and like he almost gets sucked up, and they're all holding the hose. And, it's a nice moment. I was kind of expecting him to just get sucked into the thing and either die or come back as some horrible zero matter monster. But nothing happened. He was just okay, and now he and Peggy are a thing, and are making out in his office. And it's weird.
Didn't like any of it.
I liked it, but
I don't know. I feel like it was kind of almost anticlimactic for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like they did set up a lot of like someone's gonna die, and it's probably Daniel, and then nothing happened.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was entertaining. I love these characters.
Definitely entertaining.
Yeah, like I love these characters together, but like the whole Whitney Frost thing kind of ended pretty fast, and
she's hallucinating her husband in the future.
Yeah,
for some reason. Yeah,
and I mean, in a way, you just like I think the whole entire season they've kind of built it where you kind of feel bad, like a little bit bad for Whitney Frost.
Yeah.
And at the end, like you kind of are just like, this is like awful. Like this woman is a fucking genius. And now she's locked away in this room and she can't even be given like a bouquet of roses, which Joey, what was his name? Joey? Joseph.
It was Joseph, yeah.
Joseph brings her roses because he's still like madly in love with her, even though he's part of the plan to take her in. He wants to get back the girl that he's in love with.
Yeah,
and,
he only joins up because it's not Whitney anymore.
Yeah. And she's now locked up in a sane asylum. He can't give her roses because every time they give her anything, she tries to claw her face to form, the scar that she used to have. And yeah, she's hallucinating her asshole of a husband that like turned everyone against her. So it's just, it was sad. It was a sad Whitney Frost ending. I mean, I guess like good for the SSR, but I mean, other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It was definitely a depressing ending for Whitney. But at the same time, it was it better or worse than her dying? Like, it didn't feel like she was the kind of villain you could kill. But obviously she was still going to be a villain. It was weird. It was sort of like the price of power or something.
Yeah.
Sort of situation. Which was interesting, but yeah, it was definitely sad because they did set this whole thing up where she was a very sympathetic villain, which was good because at least it made her interesting. She wasn't the megalomaniacal mustache twirling villain, and she wasn't the shadowy secret society of Leviathan last season. But they made you care a little bit about her, and then she gets her power taken away, and now she's nuts.
Yeah.
And being nuts in the 40s is not good.
No, like she's gone forever. Like she'll never get out of that room.
No.
Being nuts in the 40s isn't good, but being nuts and a woman in the 40s, you're locked up for life.
Seriously. Oh my God.
No coming back from that.
Oh goodness. So what else? What other big character things happened in this episode? We got more stuff, more Daniel Peggy stuff. Obviously, like I said, making out in his office by the end.
Yeah, I mean, Peggy finally makes a choice, I guess, if you want to.
It wasn't really ever a choice, though.
I mean, what's cool is Stark, at the end, we do find out that Stark offers a job to Dr. Wilkes. So Wilkes will be now working for Stark Industries, which is pretty awesome. Yep. So the likelihood that if there is a season 3, we probably will see Wilkes again.
It's possible.
So I guess we should, before we even talk about Daniel and Peggy,
which we should say,
there's also the other man that's in Peggy's life that I was always rooting for, Jack. Even though I don't know why I root for Jack, I do root for Jack.
I do too, even though he's kind of an ass.
But we've talked about this so much. I feel like he's an ass because he feels like he has to be an ass.
Yeah, I think we agree on that.
So
and who better to get a lovable asshole than Chad Michael Murray?
I mean, I feel like he's not really acting that much.
No, he's just playing Chad Michael Murray.
In the 40s.
In the 40s. When he's allowed to be a misogynist.
Yeah. So Jack assists on the mission to end Whitney Frost, and he says this one thing to Peggy when they're at Stark Studios waiting for Whitney Frost, like how soon will it take for her to like turn him in once this whole ordeal is over? And Peggy's just like, I have better, like more important things to do with my life than like worry about what's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
So Jack is going to be returning to New York. Peggy is planning on returning to New York, and then Jarvis has like this heart-to-heart with her, and she realizes that she should stay in California and be with Daniel, because what else could possibly be more important in her life? Blah 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 blah. And yeah, so Jack is in the hotel room packing his bags. He gets a phone call about how Peggy's gonna take more vacation, and he like makes like this joke like, "Oh, she needs more vacation. Like, hasn't she been on vacation enough?"
But didn't she quit? Like, that was my thing. Didn't she quit the SSR?
She did quit, but I guess Jack thought that her and him working together meant that they were. I don't know. That's a good point. She did quit. So
like 2 or 3 episodes ago, she quit.
Yeah. So Jack's packing his bags. He's getting off the phone. Someone knocks on his hotel room. They enter and bang, bang, shoot Jack. And you don't know who the shooter is. We don't know if Jack is dead or alive. And is that the final scene? Or is the final scene Daniel and Peggy? No, I think the final scene is Jack getting shot.
The final scene is Jack getting shot.
Okay.
It's sort of like the after credits scene that they've like included now in TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second to last scene is Daniel and Peggy.
And we
have a happy ending.
Yeah. And we have two different theories of who shot Jack.
Yes. I have one very not solid theory, but I maintain
it's like your ideal theory.
Yeah. And then there's the more likely scenario.
The one, like my theory that actually makes sense.
It's not like it's just your theory. God.
Whatever.
God, Kate. So my initial reaction, okay, because of all the stuff that they set up near the end of the season with Jack like seeking out Peggy's dirt on Peggy, and he finds a file where it's all redacted, and he reads the redacted stuff, and all it says is M. Carter. Mm-hmm. We don't really know what else it says because I didn't read anything else, and I don't think you're meant to know what it says, but Jack does this whole thing where he's like, the horrible things you did, so essentially war crimes during World War II.
Which Jack is one to talk because, I mean, hello.
True. But his was a honest panicked mistake. I mean, it was a mistake. It wasn't necessarily war crimes, but still.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have gotten a medal for it. But
yeah, he still killed people.
He still did kill innocent people. But so there's something horrible that happened during the war, and he's like sort of holding it over her, but she has no idea what he's talking about. And I don't think she was pretending. I think she honestly had no idea what he was talking about. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty sure, because all the file said was M. Carter, I'm pretty sure that it's her brother. Now, Michael. I don't think there's a point in introducing Michael Carter in the beginning of the season in those flashbacks, then bringing up an M. Carter who could be Margaret Carter or Michael Carter, probably Michael, and not having him not be dead. So I think that Michael is still alive. I think it's possible that he's Hydra or at least some other organization, but seriously, somebody has to be Hydra. And I think maybe he shot Jack. I mean, that theory doesn't entirely hold water. Like, there are holes in that theory, but I definitely think Michael is alive. I definitely think he's a bad guy.
I do think that Michael is alive.
Maybe he's a Winter Soldier.
And I think that he is. What did you say?
Maybe he's one of the Winter Soldiers.
That's what I said. Didn't I say that when we talked about?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. It's so much stuff blurs. I'm pretty sure I said it.
You might have. You're more Winter Soldier obsessed than I am.
I am
much more Hydra obsessed.
Huge. Yeah, you're all about, like, you think everyone's fucking Hydra.
Well, somebody has to be Hydra because someone has to be Hydra when they start S.H.I.E.L.D. Because Hydra is in S.H.I.E.L.D. from the beginning and it grows like a cancer.
I agree. I know someone has to start it, but like you were like you've pretty much called everyone Hydra but Peggy. Like, I'm waiting for you to be like
Peggy's Hydra.
Maybe Peggy's Hydra. I
think I've only really called Michael and Daniel Hydra, and I thought, well, Jack could be, but he's too easy.
Yeah, that would be like the obvious choice.
Yeah.
And I think Jack's very loyal to the United States. Like, I think he's like a patriot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, I do believe Michael is alive. My first thought when you saw the file was automatically that it was a Michael Carter file and not a Margaret Carter file.
I think that's where they made a mistake, though.
What do you mean?
Because by doing it M. Carter,
it
was so much, like, I think everyone's brain went to Michael Carter because that's the one you think of as an M, whereas Peggy, you have to know that Peggy is short for Margaret.
Yeah. And not a lot of people know that, so that are just watching it for like funsies that aren't like addicted to Marvel's universe.
Or to knowing weird nicknames for names that don't sound like that.
So I don't know. I don't believe Michael Carter is Hydra. It would break my heart.
I think that's the point, though.
I know, but I just don't want to believe it.
Oh, but Daniel can be Hydra because he's a putz.
I mean, Daniel's the definition of a putz. Like, I don't know how many times I have to say this. He's such a fucking putz. It's not even funny. But I don't want to believe Michael Carter's Hydra. Could Michael Carter have shot Jack? Probably. But I think the shooting of Jack is a stretch.
I don't know. But in case you're curious, the actual definition of putz is a stupid or worthless person.
That's for me, that's Daniel.
I can see Michael being the one that shot him because I could see that being like, ooh, a twist. I could also see it as being like, him figuring out who found this file on him.
Yeah. I mean, we don't really know much about Michael
No.
Carter, but I feel like a sensible person would probably want to talk to Jack about why he has the file and what he's found before just shooting him.
But if he's Hydra, maybe he's not so sensible.
Yeah.
Plus, a lot of people want to shoot Jack.
I guess. I
Including
mean,
me, sometimes.
the person I think, and I think a lot of people probably thought this, was that it was evil Red
Evil Red
Foreman.
Foreman.
Like, because, I mean, he's alive.
Oh yeah, no, and I agree with you that your theory is way more stable than mine is. Like I said, mine has a lot of holes. Really, all I'm thinking is Michael's alive. Michael's probably evil, or at least working for someone we don't like, or
Yeah.
turned or something during the war. Him shooting Jack was just a thing that could be. But you're right. It's more likely someone we already know, like Evil Red Foreman, whose name is something totally different, but I don't remember what it is.
I did look it up.
Yeah, we had it last episode, I think, but
Oh God. Whatever. I mean,
uh,
so but you, from what you saw of that scene, you believe that Jack survived? Like, you think Jack's still alive?
I think Jack's still alive. I think it's kind of a bitch death for him to just sort of be gunned down as opposed to going out in some sort of blaze of glory. Um, so my money would be on he's not dead, but they're gonna play it like he is.
Yeah.
Like he won't appear in promotional photos at the beginning of next season if they have one.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I just, like, I think, I disagree. I think it's a death that is deserving of Jack, which is weird because I like Jack more than you do, but I feel like, I mean,
Well, they've gone to all this trouble to sort of redeem him and to do this whole
yeah.
thing with like Peggy saying she's not going to turn him in and yada yada yada. I feel like that's not a time for him to go out.
Yeah,
And certainly not in that way.
I don't know. Part of me thinks he's dead, and then part of me is like, no, he's not really dead. But if he died that way, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, he didn't die an honorable death. Like, I mean, he's still kind of a weasel.
No, I agree that he's definitely a weasel, and that's not an unrealistic way for him to die, like
Yeah.
in realistic situations. But this is also a comic book,
Mm-hmm.
a comic book TV show. So I think it's far more likely that if Jack is going to die, he's either going to go out doing something honorable or he's going to go out because something's about to hit the fan. So, like, either he's about to turn someone big in and he gets taken out,
Mm-hmm.
or someone's about to turn him in for something horrible and he gets killed
Yeah.
for a reason. But I don't think that his character and the way they've set it up so far is the kind that just gets shot in the last scene.
Yeah.
So I think he's alive, but I think they're going to play him as dead if they get a season 3.
Mm-hmm.
They're just going to pretend he's dead.
I mean, yeah.
I think they could. This is the show where I would see them going so far as to make the first scene a funeral or someone visiting a cemetery.
Yeah. I mean, it's very Marvel. It's very Marvel-esque in the Captain America kind of way of doing that.
Yeah, let's not talk about people who are gonna die. Captain America.
But I was looking through. I wrote an article today on allgeektome.net about Captain Marvel: Civil War. Check it out.
War.
What did I say? Captain
Marvel.
Well, I mean, I also wrote something about Captain. I also wrote something about Captain Marvel today, so that's maybe why. And I was looking through for a feature image of Bucky and Steve, and when I was looking through Google Images,
Did you see the funeral images?
Yes. It was the first time I saw it too.
You've never seen them before. Oh my God.
No.
Oh goodness. Spoilers possibly for Civil
War.
War.
Yeah. So
but of course I've been talking about them in like different media forever.
Yeah. I mean, she's been mentioning this since like
I've been mentioning this since
Winter Soldier, probably.
Soldier. Yeah, since Winter Soldier.
But there's an image of Steve Rogers holding a casket
with the Union Jack.
With the frickin' flag. the British flag on the casket. So I'm like, well, Peggy's dead.
In the first 20 minutes, and that's where he's going to find out who Sharon
It's
is.
gonna have to be like within like opening scene.
It's the first 20 minutes, and that's how he's going to find out who Sharon is.
Yeah.
But I've literally been saying that's what's going to happen since Winter Soldier, and just watching more Agent Carter has made me so sad for what's going to happen in May.
But so I mean, Jack dying was probably the most exciting thing. Well, Jack maybe dying.
Jack possibly dying was definitely, I think, the most exciting thing that happens, because when Daniel was getting sort of sucked up into the Zero Matter rift, like I cared a little bit more of a, oh, okay, yeah, this is definitely happening. Like, in the sense that, oh my god, my nose itches. In the sense that they foreshadowed him doing something stupid, essentially, for the entire episode. And then they're like, you have to stay beyond this line. And I'm like, well, Daniel's going to get sucked up into the rift. And then he starts getting sucked up into the rift. And I'm like, oh, look, it's happening. And then it didn't happen. And then I was just confused.
Yeah. And I mean,
yeah, it was a little anticlimactic. It was almost too easy.
And then the biggest thing that even happens to Peggy is her deciding to stay in California and completely going full throttle onto Daniel.
Literally.
Yeah.
Just like jumping on top of him at his desk.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's weird, because like I was worried I wasn't remembering everything that was happening in the episode, but like going back through it, there really wasn't that much to it. It wasn't a 2-part episode, which is what I expected originally. And it was just sort of like, and it's over.
Yeah. I mean, I said this before we went on air. I kind of enjoyed season 1 more than season 2, but as you mentioned, this was like season 2 was kind of Peggy completely solo.
Yeah, we were talking about this off air, but as you say, season 1 was definitely better, and that happens on a lot of shows. Like season 1 tends to be, on decent shows, season 1 tends to be pretty good, and then season 2, the sophomore season, is where a lot of shows struggle, because it's like they set out with this idea for season 1, and then they got renewed for season 2 and went, oh crap, what do we do?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what happened with Agent Carter. I assume it was, though, because the show was originally billed as a limited series. So like everyone was just expecting one 8-episode season, and then it was going to be over, and it totally could have ended last year and been fine.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I feel that season 1, which you said off air, was more related to the Captain America storyline than this season. But for me, I feel like how season 1 ended, I was happier if they never came back. Like, I felt like it was a complete story.
Right, because I think that's how they always planned it, was going to be a complete story. They didn't end it on a cliffhanger, whereas this season, it's like, oh, we got 2 seasons, so maybe we'll get 3, so Jack gets shot.
Yeah, but I feel like this wasn't even a full
story
to me. Like, there was nothing from the beginning with Peggy that resolved at the end. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I agree with you, and I think that part comes from them going from being a limited series to being renewed, means that now you're just a series, so now you need to sort of tease out the story for the long haul, and I'm not sure they were entirely prepared to do that. But at the same time, for me, the first season of Agent Carter was Peggy's Winter Soldier. It was her Captain America sequel. It was her coming to terms with what happened in the first movie, and played out that way. It was just like a really, really long movie. Season 2 was sort of trying to figure out who Peggy is, removed from Captain America and removed from that entire universe. So no Howling Commandos, no talking about what she did during the war necessarily. No talking about Steve very much. There was like maybe one mention by Jarvis. Like, she doesn't talk about Steve. She's fully moved on. And it was all Peggy carrying the story entirely. There was no Captain America coattails. And I think that's part of where it faltered. But at the same time, I think season 2 is a decent bridge to whatever they do in season 3, as long as they build up season 3 really well.
Yeah.
I think season 3 could be really good.
I mean,
but I also want it to be the end.
Yeah. I feel like one more season, that's it. But I feel like with what they gave us, I think this needs another season.
Yeah.
I had closure for season 1. I have no closure for season 2.
Yeah, I agree. And like where both of us, I think at this time last year when we were doing the finale recap last year, we're saying, we want season 2 because we really like the storytelling, but they did a really good job with season 1 and we don't need season 2.
Yeah. Whereas like now I'm like, I need a season 3 because
now you need to finish what you're talking about. Like
we still don't have any resolution to the Jack situation. Dottie's still on the run. Like
Dottie's still out there.
Yeah. The last time we saw Dottie was when she was in that dream sequence and she was dancing around. And I mean, I've been saying this since I think season 1. If I don't find out who starts S.H.I.E.L.D., I'm going to like seriously punch someone in the face.
Yeah, at this point now it feels like the end of the story is let's start S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
And they haven't gotten there yet. So I'm hoping they get there in one more episode. Or not one more episode, one more season. And then I really do think that should probably be the end.
I mean, that's ideally how I feel like the whole Agent Carter series should end.
Yeah, that is definitely how it should end. But I hope we don't get stuck in this limbo of we don't know how much longer. Like if it gets renewed, we don't want to end it like sort of what they did with, and we were talking about this earlier. So what they did with like Smallville, if you were a Smallville fan back when it was on, the problem was that it kept getting renewed and it had to end with him becoming Superman. Like I don't want that to happen with Agent Carter. I don't want them to be stuck in this limbo place where they have to end it with starting S.H.I.E.L.D., but they don't know when the end is.
Yeah, it's just like a constant, like just figuring out filler.
Yeah, because then it becomes filler. It becomes boring and unnecessary.
But I mean, there is a restricted. The thing that Agent Carter has done is it's given us like date stamps.
Yes.
Like we know that right now she's at this point, and I think vaguely we know what year S.H.I.E.L.D. was founded.
I'm not sure if we've really stomped on that. Like I know the one shot had a date on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that they're sticking to the one shot. Like the one shot I think is out the window right now.
Oh, okay.
They could tie it back in if they wanted to, but that it was just sort of the thing that launched the show at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're necessarily using it as any kind of groundwork for this because it would also take away a lot of the thunder of the thing that makes them start S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to stick to that date, and I don't know what that date was. It might have been 49.
Mm-hmm. And what are we in?
We're at 47 right now.
Yeah. So
next year would probably be 48.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't want it to go an extra season if we didn't have to. So hopefully they throw out that whole when S.H.I.E.L.D. was started thing and do their own thing.
But I know a lot of nerds are kind of freaking out because there was news prior to the season 2 finale of Haley Atwell being signed on for a pilot at ABC.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh my God, what does this mean for Agent Carter?
Doesn't really
Pretty
mean
much
anything.
Nothing.
Yeah, it really doesn't mean much of anything, especially since Agent Carter is a mid-season show that happens in between. They could, especially if it's at ABC, so ABC would definitely work around that. But she hasn't gotten a put pilot; she just got a pilot. We don't even know what's going to air.
That's what. So I mean, in TV industry terms, you can shoot 5 different pilots, and none of them could even get picked up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not been. Usually, it'll be a pilot. From pilot, you'll get picked up for 13 episodes, and then after 13 episodes, you might get a full season.
Yeah.
But I mean, they haven't even shot the pilot.
No, they haven't shot the pilot.
That are filmed every year that no one ever sees.
Yeah, it wasn't like they specifically said it was a pilot, not a put pilot. A put pilot means you're automatically going to be in the fall schedule. Whether or not you continue past that is the question. So they're just shooting the pilot. We have no idea whether or not it will get picked up, and I don't know if one will have an influence on the other. If they decide to pick up the show, if that means they'll cancel Agent Carter, my guess is no.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We don't know. We aren't the big wigs at ABC as much as sometimes we'd like to be.
Yeah. I mean, and ABC does cancel shows pretty early. So.
They do, but they're not Fox.
Fox cancels it like after an hour.
Yeah, Fox is like midway through the premiere episode. Crap, this isn't doing well. Throw it away.
Abort.
And then they also do things like keep Bones and The Simpsons on the air for way too long.
True.
Ugh, God, they just can't find a happy medium.
And I mean, like, Gordon Ramsay has like 5 shows on his
This
phone.
is true, including MasterChef Junior for some reason.
That's cute though. I mean,
Okay.
that's
But he can't yell at children. Isn't the whole point of Gordon
yeah,
Ramsay to
but then
be
it
yelling?
completely makes you feel like a piece of shit because like this kid is like cooking a steak and creme brulee, and
Yeah, but I feel like that anyway, so.
you can barely make Easy Mac in the microwave. So,
I did burn rice once a few weeks ago.
I mean, there you go.
And on that note, that was the Agent Carter season 2 finale, Hollywood ending, as it's called. So it wasn't the Hollywood ending, but that's what it's called.
I know. I don't want
So we don't know if we'll be back for season 3 of Agent Carter, but we do know that we will be back for season 2 of Outlander, which starts on April 9th on Starz.
Yes.
Woo-hoo. We're excited for that, right?
Super excited.
Super excited. Jamie and Claire are going to France. Outlander is a really popular show for our viewers, so I'm really excited to be going back to it. We will hopefully be doing some fun stuff throughout the year, including talking about how much I'm really just not a fan of French things. And we'll hopefully be continuing our trend of me reading the book and Kate not reading the book.
Have you started?
I have not, but I'm going to. I'm in the middle of finishing the Lunar Chronicles. I need to finish.
At this point, I think we know just as much as each other.
I think I know like a tiny bit more because I know what happens at the end of Dragonfly and Amber and you don't.
No.
But you did get spoiled at about the beginning, so.
Yeah, but that like our friend spoiled me.
Yes.
But to defend her, the Outlander cover of Entertainment Weekly had a whole entire column that just spoiled everything that she spoiled.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, so even if she didn't tell me, I would have read the article and been like, what the fuck?
So you yell at Entertainment Weekly for spoiling people about.
Clearly, they just think we all read the book, but no.
Oh, goodness. Anyway, so Outlander starts April 9th, and we will start our recaps of Outlander after that. For now, we are going to go away for a few weeks, and we will be back when Outlander airs. Goodbye.
See ya.